Hey Cam, how are you?
How you doing?
Good, thank you. So what have you been working on individually as far as what do you want to see yourself improve on, and also do you see yourself facilitating more in the future?
Um, yes, I do see myself facilitating more in the future. But I would say overall, just working on putting it all together. Um, you know, consistency on both sides of the floor. And but yeah, I would just say just trying to put everything together.
Okay, next question for Sarah Spencer.
Hey Cam, what's up?
What's going on?
Nothing much. I was just curious, what are some things that you and DeAndre Hunter, as two young guys that the Hawks really rely on, now moving into your second year, having a little bit more experience, what do you and DeAndre need to bring to this team in order to help you guys win next year? Is it consistency like you mentioned, or are there other things you guys think you can bring to the table too?
I think consistency is definitely a big part of it. But I think the main thing for both of us is just being assertive, whether that's scoring, passing, whatever it may be. Just being assertive and aggressive on the floor, and the rest really take care of itself.
All right, Andrew Freeman, you have the next question.
Hey Cam, how are you?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Sarah briefly just touched on your consistency. It's all the practices going on right now. What are you doing to improve your offensive consistency and in such? When you're looking at film as well from last year, are there any things that you really like or don't like that you want to improve on as well?
I want to improve on everything. For one, I feel like you can always get better at something. So that's that. And what was the first part of that question?
Just kind of what things are you doing to improve your offensive consistency during the practices so far?
Well, in order to be consistent in the game, you got to be consistent, in practice and in your work. So just being consistent in, every single shot, every single rep, whatever that rep may look like, just being consistent, looking the same every time. So, that'll eventually transfer over to the game.
And are there any particular goals that you've been setting for yourself? I know the other day, Kevin was kind of talking about how he and John are always doing shooting challenges. I didn't know if you set goals for yourself as well during those.
Yeah, of course. I'm always competing against myself or competing against somebody I'm always typically shooting with somebody. So like Dre, for instance. So it's always, competing against him. But when I am by myself, definitely competing against myself for sure.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yakira, you have the next question.
Hi, Cam. Was there anything in particular that stood out to you during practice today?
No. Wow.
Hello?
I don't think so. Sorry about that.
All right, Jamila, you're up.
So Cam, since Vince has officially called it and retired, and he was kind of your locker neighbor, and also you kind of followed him a little bit of like his post-game routine and all of that, what are you going to miss most about him, and are you keeping in touch with him?
Just his voice, really. You always felt his presence, whether it's practice, game, workouts, treatment. He was always, you could always feel his presence being there. But I haven't spoken to him in a little minute, so I gotta hit him up for sure.
All right, we're gonna head back to Sarah.
Yeah, so during these practices, as a team, what have y'all been working on the most? I asked Kevin this question a couple of days ago, and he mentioned movement off the ball was kind of a big priority. But yeah, what have y'all just been focusing on X's and O's wise?
Honestly, I just think it's a matter of us getting used to playing with each other. So just that bond of being on the court together is, really enough. And Kevin's right, moving off the ball and stuff like that, having the ball move around New York and stuff like that. But I just think the camaraderie is our biggest, issue at this very moment.
To
But it's getting
follow
better. But it's getting better.
up,
Make sure you got that in there. You know what I'm saying?
that's always a big one. To follow up, this is obviously the first time y'all have been able to do like true 5-on-5 with Clint. What's your impression of him so far? And what's it been like getting to play with him for the first time?
It's been fun to play with Clint. I mean, he's, nonstop. He has a tremendous motor. You always can hear him, always talking and stuff like that. So he'll definitely be a key addition to our team this year. And I look forward to playing with him for sure. He's fun to play with.
Next question for Kevin.
Cam, I was going to ask if you've been watching the basketball games being played in the bubble, and if so, what did you find interesting, exciting about those games?
I think the thing I found the most interesting I would say in the beginning of the bubble is the intensity of the games and the competitiveness. I was kind of surprised. I thought people would kind of be like, I don't really want to play without fans and stuff like that. But and they stuck with it. And so I would just say the intensity and the competition within the games.
All right, Chris K., you have the next question.
Hey, Cam. From where you were in March to where you were in October and November, obviously you were a completely different offensive player in March. What do you think changed for you over the span of those few months? Is it just, getting more experience, or was there something else that you can point to really say, like, this is why I actually improved?
I would just say sticking with it and just really just having faith. I think that's huge for me. Continue to believe in God and know what He's doing in my life. That's the number one thing for me. But then again, just staying in the gym. Obviously, Vince being there helped me out with my footwork when it goes like going into my shot and stuff like that. So I would just say it was a lot of little things that played into it. But I'm definitely trying to pick up where I left off. So.
All right, Yukiri, you have the next question.
Even with this season ending so abruptly, could you just tell me what was your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway from my rookie year. I think I learned a lot about myself off the court. Like I need naps, stuff like that. Just taking care of your body is huge, especially for a rookie. You haven't played as many games before, in one season. So I would just say getting used to the travel and the toll it takes on your body. But once you kind of figure out your rhythm and stuff like that, I was good. So I think that was the biggest thing for me.
Thank you.
All right, Sarah Spencer has the next question.
Cam, how important do you think is it for you guys as a team to maybe communicate more on the court? I know Lloyd has talked about that a few times last season. Is that something that you guys will look to maybe use your voices more next season?
Yeah, it's definitely a key emphasis. We definitely have to talk on the court. But then again, I think that it comes from just us knowing each other, being comfortable saying stuff to each other, holding each other accountable and stuff like that. So I would just say I think the bubble was very helpful. And growing our chemistry and our bond. So I feel like, as we continue to mature as a team, that'll be, one of the parts that comes with it.
Do you feel like you in particular, you'll be more comfortable doing that going into your second year, just kind of knowing the tricks of the trade a little bit more than as a rookie?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I feel like everybody feels like that. It's just all about comfort. And so, but yeah, definitely.
All right, Chris, you're up again.
Would you say that you were satisfied with how you individually played last season?
I wasn't very happy with how I started. But I feel like I was, heading towards, where I can eventually be. I think I ended the season in a good spot. But I do wish I could have, started a little bit better.
Okay, Raphael, you have the next question.
What's up, Cam? Raphael from a 3-point conversion. Want to ask you, hopefully they didn't ask this, and I apologize if they did, but as you just mentioned, you started off well. I mean, you started off slow, and then you ended up well. Do you feel like you were cheated in a sense, knowing that usually rookies have that that time around the last quarter of the season where they really start to understand and they get it, like you were? You was starting to get into that. Do you feel like you were cheated in that sense?
I mean, I don't really feel like I was cheated. I just think that I hadn't played basketball in like half a year, coming off my injury prior to the season. So that's kind of what I feel like was my main issue. But um, I don't like giving myself excuses either. So at the same time, it is what it is, and it's time to move on from it. So
And then I asked you this earlier in the season. I asked you, you say you didn't have one yet. I asked you, what was the besides playing on, playing your first game, what was that "Mama, I made it" moment or welcome to the NBA moment, as far as the good side of the welcome to the NBA moment you had this year?
um, I mean, my career high night in Washington. My parents were front row, along with my cousin, so that made it that much better. So that was cool.
Okay, Sarah has next question.
Yeah, like you said, when you first started out last year, you were kind of coming off that injury. Have you been fully healthy this off season? Like no limitations, anything like that?
No, I'm good. Ready to go.
All right, Andrew Friedman.
Hey, Cam. So the other day, Kevin said that there's a lot of individual stats and accolades that have to be put aside in order for the team to make the playoffs. After only winning 20 games this year, what would it mean for you in your second year to be able to make the playoffs, knowing from where you guys were the previous year?
I mean, it would mean a ton. I mean, I feel like we've all been putting in a ton of work. So I think it would just show all the work we've been putting in. And I just feel like we have the potential to do that. So it's just a matter of putting the pen to the paper and getting it done.
All right, Jamila, you're up.
Hey Cam, this is kind of related, but not really. But you posted a picture of yourself in the new Hawks uniforms, and it looks like some new ink. Could you tell us what went behind the thought for that, and if you always wanted to get that, and what it
I
is?
mean, I was definitely I liked tattoos when I was younger, but like it was never like a thought of mine. My mom, she's not really too big on it like that. My bad. She's not really too big on the whole tattoos thing like that. But I mean, I just wanted it, so I kind of just got what I wanted.
And what did
How
you
it
get?
goes. Oh, I got my city. I'm from Norristown. 5 reverse Romans 818. Then my number.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go back to Raphael.
Cam, knowing that every night you're probably gonna play against a LeBron, a Kawhi, Giannis, and I mean guarding these guys, what did you take away from last year defensively that you know now that, all right, I know how to prepare against these guys?
That I can do it. I feel like that was the main thing for me, just figuring out that I can do it and I can. So I pretty much feel like I can take on whoever. So
And it seems like you've been hitting the weights, you buffed up. Do you think that will help you in a sense of playing better defensively, knowing you have to go through that grind throughout the whole game?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it definitely will help me. You know, those 5-10 extra pounds definitely make a big difference in the league. Especially when you have to guard people like LeBron, like you said, in the post and stuff like that. So I think it'll go a long way, but I'm far from done from working. So
Okay, Sarah, you have next question.
So obviously you guys still have a couple roster spots to fill going into next season. But with the guys that you have under contract who are going to be returning, what kind of potential do you feel like this group has for next season? What kind of leap is realistic for this group, do you think?
a big leap. I think we have all the pieces we need to make a good run. So I really just think it's a matter of us just coming together as one and just buckling down. Putting everything else to the side and just we got to get wins, and that's really that's the goal anyway. So I think we have the potential to do something great this year.
Okay, currently we don't have any questions in the queue. So if you have one last question for Cam, speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, Kevin, buzzer beater.
Near the end of the season, right before the season got cut short, you were speaking after one of the games, and I believe there was a DeAndre Hunter bobblehead in your locker. What's the backstory on that?
Oh, Dre wasn't. I don't think he was. I'm not sure. I don't think he was there. He either wasn't there or he had an injury, so he wasn't playing. And so I think Chris Gent had put in my locker to say like, he's still here. You can play without him, type thing. So just joking around and stuff,
All right, Raphael, you snuck one in also. So
Cam, has Coach said anything to you specifically and personally as far as what he's looking for you to do or leaning on for you to do this year?
To be aggressive, make plays on both sides of the floor, and that's what I do. So I can't wait to do it.
And it seemed like last year you was trying to dunk on everybody. Are you at the point now where you feel like you're gonna catch some bodies?
Yeah, I mean I caught some last year, so yeah, I'm gonna definitely have some more.
All right, thanks, Cam.
Yep.
all right, Chris, you're up.
Because you started so slowly and you guys only won 20 games, probably not a lot of people who don't watch the Hawks realize that you actually got better throughout the season. Do you feel like going into next year that you individually have something to prove to not only the league, but fans who also watch the NBA?
I feel like I do have something to prove. I don't know that I have something to prove to somebody else other than myself and
Did you run up to the store?
people that mean the most. But yeah,